Welcome into 5 Wide Fantasy. Today's video, we're talking buy low and sell high targets for your fantasy teams in week 5. Again, big video. Got to put my mind to the test, put myself on the line, and find some players that you should trade for and trade away on your fantasy teams. So if you enjoy the video, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and go check out our partners over at BetFred. Bet 50, get 250 this weekend and every weekend in the NFL if you're looking to bet on football. That link is down below in the description. Let's start with the positives. Let's start with some guys that are not off to a great start that you can go get on the cheap. And the first guy here is Michael Pittman. Pittman is the wide receiver 34 so far this season while missing a game with injury. Target share is nice, 26%. He's 25th in targets, 21st in receptions. Those might not sound as high or as high as you might like to hear, but in a 4-game sample size for the rest of the league and only 3 for Pittman, that is very important. He's averaging 9 targets a game, 6.7 receptions, 75 yards. He's coming off a down week, 3 receptions on 6 targets last week. So a chance for you to get in on him very low where the volume and opportunity is very high for this guy. Indy is actually throwing the ball quite a bit. They're 13th in passing rate this season. And of course, the potential of Jonathan Taylor missing time. It looks like he's going to be okay. I would be surprised if he does play on Thursday night. So there's the chance for him to be missing. And Michael Pittman is the entirety of this passing offense. Sure, there are guys chipping in. It's not great to see Mo Alley Cox add a few touchdowns last week. You know, Alec Pierce is someone a lot of people are talking about, but Pittman has run almost double the amount of routes as Pierce has, and he's missed a game. So this is a guy in Michael Pittman who has the entire profile in terms of volume and opportunity, just hasn't hit in a big way yet, and that is definitely coming for him. A few guys that I would look to trade away to acquire him: Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Olave, Antonio Gibson. All 4 of those guys would be guys I would be willing to trade to add Michael Pittman this week. Next up at running back, I love the addition of Breece Hall right now. Hall, of course, did have a big week last week in week 4 against the Steelers, adding a touchdown, but I'm not sure a lot of your fantasy managers in your league will notice all of these fantastic underlying numbers for Breece Hall. He has the second most running back targets on the season, 26 targets on the year. The pass catching upside is fantastic. That's why guys like Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris last year are great additions and great pieces of your team. It's because of that receiving upside as well. And Breece Hall has that, it seems, through the first 4 weeks of the season. But this past week was the first week where he had the majority of early down snaps. We're looking at that all-encompassing role. That's where we're getting guys that can be top 12 fantasy finishers. And Breece Hall, if he continues to see this uptick in opportunity and volume, could potentially be that guy. That's not a crazy thought considering how involved he is as a receiver. He's getting the goal line work too. He had 100% of the goal line touches last week. He had the majority of the goal line touches the week before. Everything is trending up. His 17 attempts last week were to Carter's 9. Carter went 9 attempts for 15 yards. So this is a guy who's taking over in the offense with the Jets. And again, I mentioned this preseason, but the recipe for a top 12 finish is 150 attempts and 60 plus receptions. And Breece Hall is on target to be able to do that through the first 4 weeks of the season. So absolutely a guy that I would be looking to add in any league that I need running back help, or really just in general, no matter the position. All right, time to touch on some players that are performing very well so far, but I don't see that holding out for the remainder of the season. First up here at running back, Aaron Jones, the RB10 in PPR formats. He's been incredibly efficient, found the end zone. You're loving what you've gotten so far from Aaron Jones, but a few reasons why I do want to sell him, the biggest being opportunity and volume. 22nd in carries on the season. That's 10 less than A.J. Dillon, his teammate. He's also 16th in receptions, 3 more than Dillon, so Dillon's right there with him as a receiving back as well. And then the red zone touches. I've always mentioned that is the problem with Aaron Jones, is his opportunity inside the 20 and inside the 5. Right now, he hasn't recorded an inside the 5 carry. Dillon has a couple himself. In the red zone, 17th in red zone touches. Dillon does have the advantage there as well. 10 touches for Dillon, 9 for Jones, and Dillon as well has the advantage on the carries department inside the 20 as well. So My problem here is that, yes, Jones has been efficient. He's made it happen with his opportunity, but his opportunity is not to the degree of a back that would be in the top 12, and right now he's the RB10. And I think with him, you can actually go and acquire some players that have the opportunity to be a top 12 option this season. A few of them that come to mind for me: Joe Mixon, great volume. The efficiency isn't there, but the volume is fantastic. Derrick Henry is just the heart and soul of Tennessee's offense right now. Leonard Fournette finally found the end zone, but his volume is great. He's a player that I would definitely, if I have Aaron Jones, go target Leonard Fournette. And then A.J. Brown, volume, target share. A.J. Brown's like a 33% target share right now. He's a player that I would go and acquire and trade Aaron Jones away. Last up, wide receiver, Devontae Smith. Wide receiver 29 in PPR. That doesn't stick out as, hey, this guy's off to an incredible start. But what I find in fantasy football is a lot of the time, people will go back to a very big week and have that stick out for the remainder of the season. And you think of Devontae Smith in this fantasy season so far, you think of a few weeks ago when he racked up 30 points, had a few touchdowns, had a massive game where they just couldn't stop targeting him. And I think that will be in the minds of every fantasy manager in your league. They won't think as much about this last week where he had three receptions for 17 yards. They'll think about that big game and be able to see him as a viable top 20 option the rest of the way. And I'm not sure if he can be that guy. I think there's a chance he could if he continues to have those massive, massive games, like when he really booms, he booms in a big way. But he also has a significantly low floor. And for me, I'm a person that doesn't want to have to make these crazy decisions on, hey, is he going to break out this week? Hey, is he going to have a boom, or is he going to bust this week? And then that kills me in terms of winning week in and week out in my matchups. And Devontae Smith is the definition of that in my mind. He's 30th in receptions with 18. He's 27th in targets as well. So the volume just isn't there. And the other problem to me is he's broken some big plays. He scored some touchdowns, but in the red zone, competing with A.J. Brown is not a great recipe for him. Brown has an over 40% red zone target share, and Smith has just 2 targets and 1 reception inside the 20. So that is a significant problem in my mind. And then the biggest problem here is we've got a team that runs the ball on 54% of plays. They're just not throwing the ball enough to be able to sustain fantasy finishes for multiple pass catchers. We're talking A.J. Brown, of course, who I'm still holding on to. I still like in this offense. Dallas Goedert as a valuable tight end, and then Devontae Smith as well. I don't think this is sustainable for Devontae Smith, and this is a mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts who's already stealing red zone touchdowns as well. He's got 4 red zone touchdowns on the year. I'm not sure that Devontae Smith can maintain what he's doing. So for that reason, I'm definitely looking to sell him and pick up some other players at the position or address other needs on my team, because I do not want to deal with this guy booming and busting week in and week out, and I'm missing it on some weeks, or I'm playing him and getting burned. So look to trade Devontae Smith where you can. All right, those are our buy low and sell high targets for week 5 in the NFL. If you guys have any players that you're looking to get a feel for, any trades that you've been receiving and want to know if you should make, drop them down below in the comments. Happy to answer as many as I can. And again, go check out our friends over at BetFred. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.